Hey, this is Rob Anspach, and welcome back to another edition of E-Heroes for those keeping count. This is episode 339, and we are headed to Texas to speak with Miss Royal herself, Katie Middleton. No, it's
Hello.
not the English royalty, it's Texas royalty. This means so much better. We're going to talk about your why, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs forget why they got in business. They forget that for one, it's never about money. Money is the byproduct of what we create. But without that why, we're never going to make the amount of money that we really truly need to live the life that we want.
Absolutely.
And for me, and we'll get into this later, but I want to welcome Katie for being here. And your last appearance on the show was about a year and a half ago on episode 257. So for those that are listening, go back and listen to that one and get caught up. But a lot of things have changed in 18 months, and I'm glad you're back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. Thanks for having
You know,
me.
but what sparked this was I saw a post on your Facebook, and you were talking about your why. Um, and it says people lose their way when they lose their why. What is your why? And I like I said, I think people forget.
Yeah.
When they start a business, they have all these great intentions. When I started my carpet cleaning business 30 years ago in 1995, you know, I wanted to just be better. I wanted to make some money. I knew I had
Mhm.
the skills, didn't understand marketing too much back then, but I just wanted to deliver a better product than my competitors.
Right.
And that served me for a point. When I discovered marketing, that why changed because I
Mhm.
knew that it wasn't just about money, it was about creating something bigger.
Mhm.
Once I understood that, the business excelled. And I had that business for 19 years before I decided to sell it and devote more time to consulting, which even though I started this business and consulting business in 2001, um, it's and my why has evolved,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Always.
And sometimes the why, that reason for you doing what you do
Mhm.
isn't always about you.
Right.
It's about something bigger.
Much bigger.
And 6 months ago, I wrote the book, Legacy, and
Mm. Yeah.
building a life and business that outlasts you.
Yes.
It's a great book, and I think every entrepreneur should have it, or at least think about their legacy. What are you
Yeah.
gonna be known for?
Mhm.
But without that why, you're never gonna get to that point.
Right. Yeah, you don't have it at all. And it's so easy to lose it over time with the noise of everything.
Right.
Um, and what I see a lot of people do is start out in a passion, and that passion turns into a job,
Mhm.
and it turns into stress, and it turns into something negative. It could be a passion for helping people. It could be a passion for, writing, even what we do.
Mhm.
It could be a passion for social media and, helping people get their businesses out there. And then it turns into a job, and you're just
Mhm.
chasing money, and you're just chasing the next thing instead of
Yeah, and
enjoying what you're
you and
doing.
I both know, I even my very first book was all about social media,
Hmm.
and social media replaced, old school print marketing.
Right.
So everybody became digital marketers, and they're putting their message out there. The problem is that there's so much content now,
Hmm.
and Facebook and X and LinkedIn restrict your reach without paying for it.
Hmm.
So now we have to put out 20 times more content to get eyeballs on it.
Yep.
And people are getting burned out. They're like,
Hmm.
"Rob, I am so tired.
Burned out,
I'm tired of
overloaded.
creating content. Can I just pay someone to run ads,
Yeah.
and so those ads aren't as effective as they used to be either.
Right.
And one of the things that I've switched to is you know, macro content, which is the books and the podcasts and the longevity of platforms, certain platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of shied away from micro content, which is the social media, because it's got a 2-second attention span.
Yeah.
As
And
soon as you look at someone's post, you might not even click like or comment or anything. You just look at it and go, oh, and you scroll. Oh,
yeah.
scroll some
Yeah.
more. And you've
Yeah.
forgotten,
Yeah. It's
you
like
know.
it used to be where it was inspiring and it was great and it was wonderful, and now it's just
Yeah,
everything almost seems the same,
yeah.
um, which is it's very sad, but it is what it is.
I put out a
And
weekly email. Sometimes I'll throw in, other emails throughout the week, but consistently it's every Monday. I have an email that goes out. And I've been seeing there's a decline in clicks and
mhm,
views because Google now has decided that, if you're not compliant to their wishes, everything that you put out goes to spam.
yeah, so they're now just kind of regulating it just like an algorithm. Like,
Right.
yeah.
And so, I've been telling a lot of my clients to go back old school, to send
Hmm.
postcards, to send thank yous, to send newsletters, printed newsletters,
Yeah.
and that gets a better ROI because people go to the
Hmm.
post office, their
Yeah.
mailbox, they're getting their mail, and as they're walking back in their house, they're scanning through it, and if it gets their attention, they're gonna open it.
Yeah.
And, the
Especially I've seen like handwritten notes. They
yeah.
go very well, even if it's a handwritten, hey, blah blah blah, just a sentence.
Well,
That goes
the
very
when I had
well.
my cleaning business in 2012, it was a couple years before I sold the business,
Hmm.
I won an award for this marketing piece that I had sent out. It was a reactivation letter, and it was in handwritten font. I mean, I
Hmm.
didn't handwrite it, the computer did it, and I had it
Yeah.
printed out and sent to people, and that got a better ROI than anything I've ever done.
Yeah, I don't doubt
And
it.
so these people would come back to us,
Hmm.
and then they would refer us to more people.
Hmm.
And it's not the fact that you're sending them something every single month. It was the fact that it was a handwritten note. It seemed personable. It seemed
Very
friendly,
personal. Yeah.
and it
Like,
didn't
this is
seem
for
like a
me
sales
only.
pitch.
Yeah. Like, this
Yeah,
is for me only. They thought about me personally
yeah.
instead of they're not speaking to a whole audience.
So,
Yeah.
for any marketers that are out there listening, there's a lot of things that you can do that are different than your competitors.
Mhm.
And not to make this a sales pitch for my newest book, but
Mhm.
my new book is called Marketing the Magic. And
Mhm.
it, everything that I have in that book is being it's like a homage or an inspiration from Walt Disney World. Because if you've ever been to an amusement park, it's a giant lesson in human psychology. You're
100%.
seeing how people react to rides, you're seeing how they react to shelling out money,
Mhm.
and if you've ever been to Disney World, you know it's expensive,
Oh, yeah.
but people go there sometimes 4 or 5 times a year, and they're
Mhm.
they're giving money to the House of Mouse, and,
Yep.
what if you could create that same magic in your own business? That experience,
Yeah.
that you're giving people value for their hard-earned dollars,
Mhm.
you know? And so when we look at internally into our own business, okay, this is our why. This is our reason for being. Disney's is not about making money. It's about making people happy.
Yeah.
It's
Is giving
about,
them the experience.
so they
Yeah.
keep coming back time and time
Yeah.
again.
Mhm.
And you know, Disney World only opened in 1971. So you got 50 years there, but multiple generations of families have are going there
Over and over and
consistently.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Exactly.
you have to be able to take everything that you know in marketing and gear it to who you are individually.
Mhm.
So you're not For me, I don't consider people my competitors because
Yeah,
we're in a
no,
world that, I collaborate a lot with people that do what I do.
same.
Um, but you have to be able to provide such an experience that no matter what you're charging somebody, they are happy to come back.
They're excited. Yeah. They're excited. And another cool part about that is it also makes them a hero in a way for giving their family that experience.
Mhm,
So it's like they feel good and they feel like they made the right choice every time because they gave them that experience. So it wasn't necessarily Disney that did it.
mhm,
It was the person. And I found that in there. There's a book called "Building a Story Brand."
mhm.
I think it's by Donald Miller. I love that book so much, and it talks about making someone, the hero in your marketing, um, and that can kind of go in with the Disney thing.
Mhm.
With the families, people that are able to take their families there are proud of themselves for being able to do that.
Right.
Um, like you said, no matter the cost.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
that was the reason I started eHeroes because I everybody that I interview is a hero in some way.
hmm
Whether they have these, awesome marketing ideas, whether they, you know, just created their business 2 weeks ago.
hmm
There's a spark of heroism in them that not only are they this, you know, brilliant entrepreneur, but
hmm
they don't mind sharing that with others.
yeah,
And Disney has never shied away from showcasing the behind the scenes of what they do.
hmm
Yeah, it seems to be like magic,
absolutely.
but, even in my very first book, which was all about social media, you know, one of the chapters was, share your progress or share your behind the scenes or
hmm
show people how the meat and potatoes are made.
Yeah, make it
Because,
real.
a lot of
Yeah.
times people will trust you more
hmm
if you share how things work.
Yeah. And I
And
think people are really tired of the, I guess you could say, lifestyle type
mhm,
marketing because it almost seems unattainable to a lot of
yeah,
people. You can't relate to it. So when you start being more relatable and more like you said, showing behind the scenes and just showing real life, like
mhm,
people really want to connect with that now. They want to feel like they are they're good enough. They they can do it too. They don't want to be jealous over, over your big house and your big car
right.
and your like I think that's almost turned people off because now they're afraid of scams because a lot of people got scammed this past
Oh,
few
and
years
and
for people that
scams are so high right now, and I wrote the book, Rob versus the Scammers, which is my funny take
Yeah.
on dealing with them, and that was in 2019. Since then,
Mhm.
scams have increased probably 1,000%,
Yeah.
and they're targeting the elderly. They're targeting people that, may not use technology as well as
Yeah.
others, and
Mhm.
so you get this email, "Hey,
Yeah. And they're looking for somebody to save them. They're looking for
right,
something to work for them, and they have this belief that everyone in the world is there to help them. Like they have a belief that everyone is good people when they're
right."
really not, and it's very sad.
So, it's trust but verify, Yeah,
Yes.
you can be trustworthy and you can trust somebody, but verify that the information that they're giving you is legit, and
Mhm.
and, I think that out of all the interviews that I've given, on eHeroes, there was only one person, and that was at the very beginning, that I didn't verify,
Mhm.
and they were out of business in a very few short months after the recording. Um, but I still have it up there, and I don't tell anybody
Yeah.
who it is. They can
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
But, we're in this world now where, experience matters.
Yes.
I've been a 30-year entrepreneur, been in the trenches forever. I mean, I have seen things that'll make your toes
Uh,
curl.
mhm.
But here's the problem is that there are so many entrepreneurs on the internet pitching their crap.
Yeah,
People fall for the shiny object. They fall
absolutely.
for the newbies just getting started,
Mhm.
and because they feel that, "Oh my god, he has 30 years experience, he must be real expensive."
Yeah.
Maybe so, but I'm gonna get the job done quicker, and you're gonna get better results.
Yeah, and you're gonna get done right.
But they don't always think about that,
Right.
and it's I've witnessed so many companies fall for that, and then they
Mhm.
come back to me and say, "Rob, can you fix it?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna cost more, and they don't by that time, they don't have any money.
Yeah, it's
So,
tough. It's really tough, and
so
you almost feel bad for it because it really is a human behavior psychology thing. It's just people fall for certain things, and it happens. It
mm,
happens. We've all done it. Um, it just kind of is what it is. But
yeah.
hopefully,
Let's talk about you for a little bit. I mean, it's for the last 18 months, I mean, what are you doing? Are you doing something different that you did, back then?
y- yeah. Back then, I was more focused on social media stuff. At this point, I'm more focused on newsletters.
Mhm,
I've been doing a lot more newsletters, a lot more kind of blog posts slash articles, um, and kind of more teaching people content repurposing and kind of consulting on the social media side a little bit instead of doing that full time, social media stuff. But as far as the newsletters, I've found that um, it's been helping a lot more companies because they're used to sending out emails, but they're only used to sending out, "We're having a sale. It's
mhm,
a holiday. It's that." And when you start sending out the newsletters, you start getting, more touch points with your audience, and they start opening the emails and they start getting more interested in what you're about to sell,
mhm.
if you set it up the right way. And so that's been really fun for me. I've really liked that. I've helped a few people just kind of get started,
Mhm.
onboarded, kind of get things going, which is also fun just to kind of see them watch it work. So, yeah, I've been doing a lot more of that now.
Yeah, let's talk about touch points because I read an article the other day, and I guess the numbers have gone up, but
Mhm.
now they're saying it takes over 20 touch points before
Oh,
someone
yeah.
responds to you, and I'm thinking, is there someone actually there counting? 1, 2, 3. Oh, nope, it's only 18. I gotta wait till it's look. That's the average. You're gonna
Yeah.
have some people that react to your stuff right away.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
And some aren't.
people that it's gonna take 30, 40, 100 touch points before you get to them.
100%. 100%.
So
And you just kind of
it's
got to just keep going.
yeah. And here's the thing is I've realized that the people who react immediately, they join my newsletter list, they might buy a book.
Hmm.
They're going to be the ones that instinctively will react quicker. The people that
Hmm.
have been on my list for longer periods of time, eh, I
Yeah.
might as well
They
just delete them after 2,
they'll
2 or
either
3
fall
years
off
because
or
they
come
don't
back
react.
or, yeah.
Yeah, I had someone that was on my list for 12 years, got my email every single, all the time I sent it out, and then he finally decided that he had no time for my email, and he unsubscribed.
Hmm.
And he said, "It's spam." I'm
Oh.
like, "Dude, I just tracked you for like 12 years, and these are all
Yeah.
the ones that I could see you opened, and
Like, this is not
it took you
spam. Like,
12
just
years to say it's
unsubscribe,
spam."
that's fine, but don't report it
Yeah.
as spam. But yeah, that happens. I mean, it's a weird it happens on, social media. It happens on newsletters. It happens on sales emails. It happens on and someone can be interested in you 1 minute and then the next it's like, "Oh, no, I don't wanna see that anymore."
Mhm.
Which that's fine. That's the way of the world, right? Um,
No, but your post, about a week ago, it says, "What if I told you you're sitting on months of content right now?"
yeah,
And I would argue that most people are sitting on a year's worth of content, and they
I
don't even know it,
I agree. I
you know?
agree.
And what amazes me about Disney is they don't recycle a lot of their stuff,
Mm.
and they have people that are constantly creating, and I'm like, "You know what? There are people out there that are very nostalgic, and they wanna see some of the
Mhm.
old stuff."
Very
And if they
true.
would just post the old stuff, they would have more people on their social media,
Very true, actually.
you know? So it's
Actually.
you know, sometimes I share stuff that I wrote 6, 7, 8 years ago,
Yep.
and people are like, "Oh, is that new?"
Yeah.
"Yes,
Yeah.
it's new." Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just came right out of my head, I posted it.
Yeah. I even
You
have
know.
some posts I go back and I comment on some of my memories, that come up, and it'll be from 5 years ago, and people will start commenting on it like it was yesterday, and
Mhm,
they'll start texting me, they're like, "Oh, that was great," and blah, 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 and I was like, "Yeah, that was 4 years ago," like,
mhm.
but, thank you. It's like,
You know,
"Thank you,
and
oh
and
my
and,
god,
you
there's
know,
20 now."
and I know that there's a lot of people that are afraid of AI, but
Mhm,
you tell the AI, whatever AI program that you're using, "Analyze my website and come up with content," and it'll do it.
absolutely.
You know? And maybe it comes up with content that you didn't think about,
Mhm.
you know?
Expand on
Or
it,
you say,
enhance
"Look,"
it. Yeah,
you feed it a CSV file with all the content you've produced over the last year,
it's
and
fantastic.
and it'll show you how to reutilize all of that, or it'll spin it in a whole different way.
Mhm, and
And people are like, "Oh, yeah, I don't wanna do AI. I'm afraid I'm do" Look, if you're afraid to recycle your content and you're afraid of the AI to do it for you, why are
mhm,
you even in marketing anymore? Because
yeah,
you seem like you're burned out.
yeah. 'Cause, I mean, people read the same book over and over and over
Yeah.
because they like that book. They like
Mm,
the feeling it gives them, and you and me both know that you're not the same person you were last year, and you
mhm,
aren't, and so every single time that you read something, you're going to read it with a different perception and a different, energy that you
mhm.
had from the state that you were in. So every time you reshare something or, rewrite something in a different way, um, it'll hit someone differently
Mhm.
no matter what time you shared it. Like you
Yeah.
said, if it was 8 years ago or, even
And
2
sometimes
years
what
ago.
I'll do, I mean, I use I use a scheduler, so I have thousands of posts already in there, and it, you know, goes through it, and I'll say, "Okay, this is what I wanna post on Mondays, on Tuesdays," and I'll go through it and program it, and so it just cycles through.
Mhm,
And, I had something that posted the other day, it was, like, 6 or 7 years old, and people are like, "Wow, okay."
mhm.
And it triggered somebody, and they bought a whole bunch of my books, and I was like, "Yeah,
Okay.
okay, that's great."
It
You know,
that's
it's
yeah.
but you never know where a sale's coming, and
Mhm.
I have stuff purposely being posted at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and people are like, "Why? Who's up?" I'm like, "People across the world are
Oh,
up."
yeah. There's people up for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
so you never know where
yeah.
people are gonna connect from you or with you,
Mhm,
but, it's and here's the thing is that people go on vacation, they
mhm.
travel, and they
Yeah,
could be in Europe, and they're still
yeah.
looking at your stuff.
Mhm. And then again, even if they aren't looking at your stuff, like, they might look at it next week or next year or next like, people are busy. A lot of us forget that just because you post something one day and you only get 2 likes on it, doesn't mean that, nobody watched or nobody, really liked it. It's like, not everybody's watching you all the time,
Well,
and that's
and
okay.
what's
It's
nice now is that Facebook, LinkedIn, and maybe even X too, they're
Mhm.
all being indexed by Google.
Yes.
You type if you're searching for something and you type it in the browser, it'll pop up your
Mhm.
post from Facebook or LinkedIn or X, and people will click on it.
People can find it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going back to our why, continue to do what you do on a consistent basis,
Mhm.
and people will start to gravitate towards you because you're fulfilling their why as well.
Mhm. Very true. That's
Right?
important to remember when you think that, you're not doing it for anything and nobody's watching and it's like, no, no, actually, you are part of someone's why.
Yeah.
You do help people keep going every day. You never know who reads your post and really needed it. I've had people comment on some of my posts like, "Hey, I really needed that today." Um, and and so when you stop, it's like you stop that almost that blessing that someone else needed,
Hmm.
um, to get them through the day and to spark a fire in them,
Hmm.
um, which is also very fulfilling and very nice to know that you can help people do that even if you're not selling something.
Yeah. So now, how do people find you, Katie? Where do they go? I mean,
Oh
they
gosh,
could find you in Texas somewhere, but
yeah,
no,
in Texas,
on the socials or
on the socials, probably the biggest would be Facebook at the Katie Middleton. Um, you can find me there. All the red hair.
on Instagram, X, TikTok,
Yeah, all the
Instagram.
same
They're all the same handle.
at the Katie Middleton. Yep.
I don't get on TikTok much, and occasionally I'll make a video, put it up there.
Yeah.
But I find that my clients aren't on TikTok. They're on LinkedIn. They're on YouTube. They're on
Mhm.
Facebook.
Yeah. I do TikTok. TikTok for me is just more the fun part of things. No selling, no writing, no just kind of just hanging with my dogs and birds and and everything, but it's fun. But
So what
yeah,
do
as
you
far as
besides
clients,
besides helping clients with their newsletters, what else do you do on the side?
on the side, I'm living like a grandma. I love it. I've got plants, I've got birds, bird feeders, I've got my two dogs. So I'm just
You
enjoying
don't even
the
look old enough to
downtime.
be a grandma.
I'm just enjoying the downtime of life. I was so go, go, go for so long. In the hustle culture of, work all the time, 24/7. And now I'm more in the let's enjoy life mode.
So
So
you
that's,
found your why.
yeah.
You found your reason, and
Yeah,
I want everybody to understand that hustle doesn't equal more money.
absolutely not.
Hustle does not contribute to your why.
Mm-mm. It
Hustle
takes
is more
away.
of let's stay busy in the moment.
Hmm.
And once you realize that you don't need hustle to make money, your why gets so much bigger.
Absolutely.
So with that, I'm going to bid adieu. Thank everybody for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Adios.
Bye.